know what is beyond the known borders of the West, but what do the lands to the far east hold? In the world of J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth, those lands to the east really hold a sense of mystery. If we look beyond those well-trodden paths of the likes of the Shire, Gondor, Mordor, there lies lands that still hold many peoples, cultures, and stories that are yet to be explored. So I thought, why not dive into this today?
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
The far east of Middle-earth, extending beyond those known boundaries that most of us know from the well-known maps, is a vast and varied landscape. Although Tolkien only ever gives us glimpses at this landscape, he gives us enough to really be able to paint a vivid picture of what amazing things we could see in those lands. At the heart of the region lies the Sea of Rhûn, a great inland sea connected to the river running into the northwest. This sea serves as a geographic landmark, hinting at the vastness of the lands beyond. To the north of the Sea of Rhûn lies a mysterious forest, and to its southwest a range of hills, suggesting a varied landscape of woodlands and elevated terrain too. Further east, beyond the Sea of Rhûn, are the Orocarni or Red Mountains. These mountains are a significant feature of the far eastern landscape, and they mirror the misty mountains of the west in their prominence. The Orocarni not only provide a physical boundary for the region, but also hint at the possibility of hidden valleys and unknown realms nestled in their folds. In the most eastern reaches of Middle-earth, there is a land known as the Land of the Sun, a continent that is said to correspond symmetrically with a man in the far west. This distant land, separated from Middle-earth by the East Sea, is home to the Walls of the Sun, a great mountain range with a curved shape. The Land of the Sun is largely uncharted in Tolkien's writings, leaving much to the imagination regarding its landscapes and inhabitants. However, although this continent is interesting, it is said that it was in fact part of those lands that were cast back by Ilúvatar during the downfall of Númenor, where the world was reshaped. To the south of the Sea of Halkar once existed another inland sea, the Sea of Ringil, and this lay at the feet of the Yellow Mountains. This region underwent dramatic changes during the cataclysmic events of the Battle of the Powers, further highlighting the dynamic and evolving nature of Middle-earth's geography. While Tolkien's descriptions of the Far East are sparse, they provide enough detail to spark the imagination. From the towering Orocarni to the mystical Land of the Sun, the geography of the Far East is a tapestry of unknown lands and hidden secrets, inviting all of us to envision a world as rich and diverse as the more familiar territories of Middle-earth. The far east of Middle-earth, although less documented than those lands to the west, still has a rich and intriguing history. It really played a crucial role in the earlier years of Middle-earth, and it was the birthplace to so many significant inhabitants. The first elves awoke in Cuiviénen, a location far to the east of the Sea of Rhûn. This awakening marks a pivotal moment in Middle-earth's history, as these elves would later be invited to journey to the Undying Lands. Not all of them accepted this call though, however. Those who chose to stay behind became known as the Avari, remaining in these eastern lands, distinct from their kin in the west. Similarly, the first men also arose in the east, near the land of Hildorian. These early men eventually migrated westward, encountering dwarves and Avari elves along their journey. The interaction between these races in the east would shape the history of Middle-earth, as some men fell under the influence of dark powers like that of Morgoth and later Sauron, becoming known to many as the Easterlings. These Easterlings played a significant role in the conflicts of many ages, but especially in the Third, often aligning themselves against the free peoples of the West. The dwarves, too, have a presence in the far east. 4 of the dwarven clans, the Iron Fists, Stiffbeards, Blacklocks and Stonefoots, had their origins and kingdoms in these eastern lands. These clans are less familiar to readers than those of the west, like that of Durin's folk, but they do contribute to the rich tapestry of dwarven culture in Middle-earth. The lands of Rhûn and the surrounding regions were not static, but changed hands and allegiances over the ages. During the Second and Third Ages, the Blue Wizards ventured into these deep regions too, their fates becoming one of the greatest mysteries of all of Tolkien's Legendarium. Additionally, Sauron himself sought refuge and built power in the East during the Watchful Peace, further entwining the fate of the East with the larger narrative of Middle-earth. The history of the Far East and Middle-earth is a blend of known facts and tantalizing hints. from the awakening of the Elves and Men to the hidden kingdoms of the Dwarves and the shadowy influence of Dark Lords. This region holds key pieces of Middle-earth's past, inviting you to really explore and just imagine the untold stories that may lie within. The Far East is a fertile ground for speculation and imaginative exploration. The lack of detailed information about the East has really led fans and scholars to come up with some really imaginative thoughts about what happened in these lands, about potential cultures, societies, and histories. One of the most intriguing speculations that does revolve around the East is that of the Blue Wizards. Tolkien mentioned that these two members of the Istari Order ventured into the Far East, but their ultimate fate and impact on the region are not exactly known. Some theories suggest that they may have played a role in countering Sauron's influence, possibly influencing the cultures and practices of the peoples that they encountered. Others speculate that, like Saruman, they may have fallen from their original purpose, creating secret cults and traditions of magic among the Easterlings. The Easterlings themselves are a subject of much conjecture too. Beyond their roles as adversaries in the wars against Gondor, little is known about their internal societies, cultures, and beliefs. Did they have a unified culture, or were they a collection of diverse tribes and kingdoms? What were their customs, social structures, and religious beliefs? These questions invite speculation about that life in the East, distinct yet from the more familiar parts of Middle-earth. The region's geography too leads to numerous theories. The mysterious forests, mountain ranges, and seas hint at hidden valleys, lost cities, and unknown creatures. Fans have speculated about the possible existence of other elven realms, independent Mannish kingdoms, or even lands where Entwives may have found refuge. So many people may have realised that the West was full of war, so never wished to travel that way and stayed in perhaps the more peaceful lands to the east. We don't really know. The influence of dark powers in the Far East, though, is another area of speculation. Maybe it wasn't peaceful at all. Sauron's presence in the region during the Watchful Peace suggests that he may have established fortresses and strongholds that predate his return to Mordor. What impact did this have on the local populations? Were there resistances or collaborations? These questions really do lead us to theories about complex political and social dynamics in the Far East during the different ages of Middle-earth. There is no simple answer. While much of what lies in the Far East of Middle-earth is left to the imagination, this very uncertainty fuels the fascination with the region. The speculative theories and potential narratives add depth to Tolkien's world, inviting fans to engage creatively with the Legendarium and imagine the many untold stories that could exist in these mysterious lands. When Tolkien was creating the Far East, like much of his Legendarium, he was influenced by a few different things: real-life history, mythology, or his own academic background. Understanding these influences can really help inspire us to think what may have actually happened in those lands when inspired by Tolkien. Tolkien's academic expertise in languages and literature, particularly his deep knowledge of Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and Celtic myths, undoubtedly played a role in shaping his conception of Middle-earth. The Far East, while less detailed, may have been influenced by Tolkien's interest in and knowledge of non-Western cultures and histories. For instance, the Easterlings, with their diverse tribes and cultures, could reflect Tolkien's awareness of the complex tapestry of Asian and Eastern European societies. The historical parallels in Tolkien's work are also evident in the East. The presence of nomadic groups and the descriptions of mounted warriors and vast steppes bear a resemblance to the Mongol Empire and other Central Asian cultures. Additionally, the concept of a distinct, mystical East echoes medieval European perceptions of Asia as a land of wonders and unknown dangers. Tolkien's own words provide insight into his inspirations for the East. In interviews, he had referred to the lands of Rhûn as akin to Asia, and he mentioned China and Japan as examples of what Western people consider distant and mysterious. This association highlights the East's role as a symbol of the unknown and unexplored in Tolkien's world. The influence of real-world folklore and mythology on Tolkien's creation is also significant. Tales of magical creatures, hidden kingdoms, and great heroes from various Eastern cultures may have provided a backdrop for his imagination, fueling the creation of a land filled with untold stories and possibilities. As you can see, the influences and inspirations behind the Far East and Middle-earth are as diverse as they are speculative. Tolkien's academic background, interest in diverse cultures and histories, and his ability to weave real-world mythology into his fictional world all contribute to the mystery and allure of the Far East and his Legendarium. These elements invite readers to view the East not just as a distant and unexplored region, but as a testament to Tolkien's vast creative vision, which draws from a rich tapestry of global influences and mythologies. Like I've mentioned before, the East holds a less prominent place in Tolkien's world than the likes of the Shire or Gondor or Mordor, anywhere like that. However, that doesn't mean it is any less interesting. It holds such a unique place in Tolkien's world, being so shrouded in mysteries, a place that we never really get many true answers for. It just adds so much to a world that has been created. We're never going to know everything about the real world, so having moments like this for Middle-earth just makes it more realistic. Thematically, the Far East serves as a symbol of the unknown and uncharted. In a world as meticulously detailed as Middle-earth, the existence of such a vast, largely undefined region expands the scope of Tolkien's universe. It suggests that Middle-earth, like our own world, contains areas that remain to be explored and understood, adding a layer of realism and intrigue. The Far East also provides a narrative space for untold stories and unseen adventures. While the central tales of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit focus on the West, the existence of the East implies a wealth of parallel stories and histories. This notion enriches the Legendarium, making it feel like a living, breathing world with its own unseen corners and undiscovered tales. Moreover, the Far East plays a strategic role in the overarching story of Middle-earth. It is the origin of significant forces and characters such as the Easterlings, who play a crucial role in the wars of the Third Age. The region's history with dark powers such as that with Morgoth and Sauron adds complexity to the narrative, showing that the struggle between good and evil is not just confined to the West, but is a global phenomenon. The inclusion of the Far East in Middle-earth also highlights Tolkien's skill in world building. By creating a region that is both integral to the world's history and yet largely undefined, Tolkien engages the reader's imagination, inviting them to speculate and create their own interpretations of what lies in these distant lands. Really, the Far East's role in Tolkien's Legendarium is multifaceted. It adds depth and dimension to the world of Middle-earth, serving as a reminder of the vastness and diversity of this fictional universe. A place where mystery and possibility coexist, inspiring readers to dream and ponder what lies beyond the edges of the map. This region, though peripheral in narrative, is central to the sense of wonder and exploration that is so fundamental to Tolkien's works. So there we have it, a look at the Far East of Middle-earth. All the mystery that comes with these lands really adds to the magic of Tolkien's world. It really invites us to dream, speculate, and imagine what endless possibilities could go on in other parts of Middle-earth, ones that we do not already know. This uncharted territory is not just distant land on a map, it's the potential for so many incredible adventures that we can all go on together. So exploring a little bit more of these unknown lands and all the potential possibilities that could have happened there, it just adds to that enduring legacy of Tolkien's world that he created and really keeps us just coming back for more and more. And that is just, again, one of the many great things that Tolkien has given us. With that now though, it is time for my question of the day, which is, if you could create a story or character based in the Far East of Middle-earth, what would you like it to be? Share your thoughts and ideas in the comment section down below. And now it is time to give a massive thank you to our patrons who continue to support the channel. You are all amazing. And if you have reached the very end of this video with me today and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It would massively help us out. And why not drop a like on the video as well? And with that, all I can say is, thank you for spending just some of your time with me today, and I will see you next time on The Broken Sword.